Dan here, DD Speed Shop, and today we're driving this 55 Chevy. Come on, this isn't some fake Motor Trend show. We still have to do a bunch of work. So where we left it, well, I don't even know where we left it, to be honest with you, because I've been thrashing a little bit of everything. So we're at the point now where there's a lot of stuff mostly done. I guess that's kind of every day in my life, eh? I'm really good at almost finishing everything. This is DD Speed Shop. So at this point now, the motor is in, the transmission is in, the gear vendors is on, and the rear end is mounted. So we have a good foundation. Now it's the little stuff which is going to kind of kick us in the butt. And a little bit on the boring-er side, I guess. So I'm just going to kind of thrash a little bit myself. Today I want to focus on the rear end. So I'm putting disc brakes on it, which I actually think that'll be kind of an interesting video because this is like a universal rear disc brake kit, and it really wasn't that much money. I think it was $600 or $700. And I didn't have one piece, so obviously to try and rebuild anything. But I will say, by a factory Tri-5, drums here are about $100 a drum if you have to get them between shippings. They're heavy. You rebuild all the junk inside. You're $350, $400 into a set of rear drums. So for not much more money, I thought it'd be kind of a cool upgrade. And it comes with emergency brake and all sorts of things like that. So if it's 100% road legal and safe, which is fantastic. So anyway, I digress. But that's what I want to work on today. But before I put the brakes on, I have to make sure I get the shimming correct on the rear end. So we ran into it a couple of videos ago where I feel like the bearing is just slightly sticking out of the axle housing, and just the way it's going to clamp together, I wasn't super happy with. It does come with spacers, but in the kit I got, the problem is I bought, stuff I had, bought a kit, a housing from somewhere else, so there's a little bit of a couple of missing parts that I thought maybe came with certain things, but they don't, so I have to go get that myself or make some stuff. My concern was I was going to need a second shim, but the axle didn't come with any gaskets, which I actually think is kind of a thing. So actually yesterday we went out and got a roll of gasket material.
Why?
Well, I screwed up a gasket, but in turn it will solve a problem today. Anyway, I need to build a gasket, or I need to build a spacer, something along like this. This is a retainer, so it needs to be slightly bigger than this, but this kind of roundabout shape, and I don't need it that thick. I probably need it, I'm going to say an eighth or so, which if you fold this gasket paper in half, all of a sudden it goes from that to that. And I was just watching, speaking of roadkill and whatever, Freiburg there, they had the exact same problem on a 56 Chevy they were working on, where they had one spacer, but two spacers was too much, which I believe that's the case. We have to, this retainer, this is a spare one, don't worry, it's not on that, holds the axle in and holds the bearing in, and you want to make sure when this is tight to the axle flange, you kind of have zero lash on the bearing. The problem I have right now is the gap between the retainer and the axle flange is kind of too big, and I think as you tighten it, you'll actually deflect this and probably put too much preload on the bearing, which you don't want. If I put two spacers on, which I have, I believe this will be tight, but I'll have lash in the bearing. So I have to figure out the in-between. And actually, to Freiburg's credit, he did the exact same thing, where he had, two spacers was too much, and he literally did the same, where you put a spacer in two gaskets, and that gave you the proper preload. So I'll probably just be out here making this out of gasket material, which is going to be boring and stuff like that, and then we can set the lash, and then once that's all done, then we can get on to the disc brake kit. So that's the plan for today. This thing should have the rear end dialed together and disc brakes on it by the end of the video, maybe. Hopefully. I want to put wheels and tires on this thing.
You've been saying that since the beginning of the weekend.
I'm at the point now where this thing, I know it's cool, it sounds awesome. Unfortunately, it blows the speakers out, so it's not going to sound cool in your headphones, but it sounds wicked. And I want this thing to be down on the ground, on its wheels and tires, with the front clip on it. That's what I need to be remotivated, rejuvenated. It's been a lot of work, and even though I know there's a lot of work done to the car, I need to see it. So that's what I'm doing today. So we'll see you shortly. Okay, we're back. I pressed this one all together. Oh, I forgot the collar. I don't need it.
Oh no.
So that's all together. No, so I found a video on the internet. So I ended up I guess, just doing things slightly different. So I actually had to cut the collar off the other one. I don't know where I put it. It's long gone. Anyway, so we got this deal all together. So we'll do this. So we got the axle in. I ended up using the spacer. I ended up making a couple of gaskets just to give it a little bit. I can probably see in the back. But everything is tight and happy. Everything kind of goes good. There's no lash whatsoever. So I'm happy with it. So originally it would have had this as well. So it would have actually had this sandwiched between there, which just seems like a lot of material for no reason. And then I found other videos where people eliminated this, even though this is in the instructions to use. It does say spacer, retainer, and then the brake piece. But if you look at the brake adapters for the other side, it ends up kind of, what does it do? Like this. This is how it fits to hold the brake caliper on the back. But you can see like the holes all line up, and it basically does the same thing, other than it has a slit cut out of it, and it's thicker material. So that's that. Now what we have to do, I got this all together.
Mur gave it the stamp of approval.
Mur came by, gave it the old, yeah, how is it for? Where did I put the wrench?
I just gave that to you.
I need another one. Well, I have this, but okay. We'll do this wrong, I guess.
You want this one?
No, I want a 9/16, so I'm not using a torque wrench backwards like you're not supposed to. But anyway, so I made my own mount, or T-bolts, or whatever you want to call them, by taking bolts and grinding them down. Now, I don't have... Where did I put the thread locker out? I thought I had locking nuts, but I don't. So
Nuts.
Yeah, we just came home, so I'm not going back out. So I'm going to use a washer, I'm going to use a lock washer, and I'm going to use thread locker. And that is how we're going to go ahead and secure this. So get that on there. And it's supposed to be set to 35? Yeah, we'll have to Google it, but we'll just set it to 35. 0, 35. Now I'm not going to go all the way because I do want to kind of bring them in equally. But we'll just kind of snug her down, just so you know the bearing is kind of set. Work over this way. We'll do the same thing. So I'll just take these apart. Whoops! Let's take these apart right quick. We'll thread lock them, and then we'll come back and torque them down real quick once they're all ready for it. Okay, so we have everything dialed. I Google it. 35 foot-pounds is what it recommends. So that, give it a spin. Everything moves nice and free, so that's pretty good. Go a bit of a crisscross applesauce pattern, just so you're making sure it's all seated. Take your time with this to make sure the bearing and the seal and all that is in there proper, because I did this wrong on Danny's car, and yeah, it was a bit of a hassle. Hey, first time doing it though. Now I've learned my lessons. So there we go. That ain't going nowhere. And there's not a whole lot of load. This is just holding everything in place. Seal looks good. Nothing's dragging. It's easy to spin. So that's perfect. Now, I've jumped ahead a little because I actually assembled this brake system to make sure I was happy with it. So it comes with some kind of universal rotors. They're dual drilled. I did have to drill out the 7/16, or the 4 3/4 bolt pattern, because these studs actually come through the face of the axle just a little bit, and it was getting bunged up there. So, got everything now. Fits on there, it registers itself on the axle, so that's good. I had a couple of lug nuts. What did I do with them? Here they are. We'll just kind of put these on there just for demonstration purposes. The caliper is a little, I won't say goofy, but you just have to kind of, I guess, read the instructions and find a video online. Maybe it's even this one that I'm helping you install your aftermarket deal. Okay, so this is a caliper, and they come assembled, ready to go with pads in it. It doesn't come with this bracket on. So this is the bracket that's going to join to the collar we had before. So this is obviously going to be on the deal, and then you can see how these those 4 holes all kind of line up, right? So that's that. This one has provision for emergency brake, which is super handy. Obviously, when you're putting calipers on, the bleeder has to go on the top side, and on this way, the e-brake is on the inside, which I guess that's always the way it is. So the only thing that's a little confusing, this works like a standard kind of GM single piston floating caliper. So it's going to float on those slides, I guess. And if you look at this, see it has the little nuts or whatever nuts welded in. So you do the same thing. You have to take the caliper apart because it's going to come like this. But the piece is already in it. But obviously the pins are just sitting there because they can float in and out. There's nothing to screw to. So you pull them out. You'll put this bracket in. I did it that side inwards. I don't know if it makes a difference or not, but that's that. So now what happens, as you can see, hold this. We're going to do it backwards, but this is going to be bolted to the car. So as you step on the brake, this is not going to move. And obviously for the caliper to squeeze, all that's happening is fluid's going in this piston, and it's going to slide the caliper so they both grab. So we can move it like this. So that's exaggerated, but that's what's going to be happening on the car. Except instead of this moving, everything else will move. This won't be. Now you want to center this. So if you can focus right there, you see your slide that goes between the caliper. See how you could hide all of it. You see one edge. You go the other way, you can just see the edge starting to poke through, and then it kind of goes away. So what you want to do is center it, just like that. Then you put it on your rotor. This is where it's going to get a little hard to see, unfortunately. So you kind of put it on the rotor. Now, the measurement, can I see in here? Oh, yes. So I'll just hold the camera here for a second. So now, you can see that's the mount, and then that's the mount. We have to join those two together with hardware. Whoops. Maybe we'll just let it rest like that. So you can take a measurement there, and see, but I already had done that because I'm an expert, YouTuber. It comes with a whole bag of shims, big ones and little ones. So we're going to use 2 bigs. So line this up. And one little. And what that's going to do is you're still centered. And then this should, maybe I need one shim out. But we'll put those shims in there and we'll bolt it all together. And that will give you what you want. So with those shims in there and all bolted together, life will be good, in theory. Now, we do have to disassemble it all and bolt on that bracket with the allotted number of shims. I'll double check and make sure this is correct because it looks like it's wrong now. I don't know what I've done different. And then reassemble it. The key is just trying to have that disc in the center so it can have as much float as you want. Obviously clean everything. I brake cleaned it all, but give it a quick blast because it was, comes in the assembly goo. And that's that. So pretty simple deal. The only thing that's going to be a little complicated, we actually can't finish today, and I wasn't thinking about the caliper. So typical back brakes, you would just run your hard line into it. Well, obviously, because these are actually going to float, it needs a hydraulic or a flex line, and then we can go from there. So we don't have any of the stuff to do that today. It's just a banjo style, nothing too serious. But we don't have any of the stuff to accomplish that. So we'll get the brakes all in and done. We get the wheels and tires on, and we'll change the master and the proportioning valve, and we'll be basically ready to go, other than we won't have a line in the back. We'll have to bleed that and go from there. There you have it. I'll assemble it, and we'll come back and just kind of show it, but that's kind of the gist of it. Okay, so we got lifed, and I wanted to put 2 big shims and 1 small. I only have 2. The reason being, on the back side, this bottom bolt, it is, you can see here, but it's like right where, that was
your knee.
Right where my finger is there. The U-bolt's there, so I can't put any more shims on there. So we're close-ish. And you're standing on important brake parts. So now, this is your generic aftermarket, every disc brake conversion ever. So we'll just put this together. Oh, you know what we probably need first? A brake rotor. Dummy!
Your words, not mine.
Okay, so that goes on. And this can go on. Oh, this is awkward. You know, we could probably put a... Oh, okay, hang on. Dan's frustrated. Are you sitting on those lug nuts? Either you need a friend, which I don't have any, or a lug nut.
I'm your friend.
By law. Okay. Now we take her. Hopefully this will just kind of fit in there. What's going on? What's caught here? Something is hitting something. This was all together. Oh. Is that the problem? Here we go. Okay, now your typical slide pins. Put that in there. And then get this started. Oh, maybe a longer extension would be even more inconvenient. Kind of. Okay, got one lined up. The other one I could barely see. How are we there? My beautiful hair's in the way. Oh, we're way out. There we go. Okay. Put that on there. Okay. One. Watch the fuel tank. I feel like this fuel tank may be a little on the small side for all the fun we're about to have. Okay, so show you here. So again, you can see where we're at. There's more on this side than this side for the slider. So obviously, the shimming is not ideal, because if we had this one more shim over, it would be one more shim over there, but you can still see some. It'll be fine. It's as good as it's going to get without doing a little bit more screwing around, but there we have it. This is the right caliper, right? Did I put it on correct? Oh, yeah. I just want to make sure.
A little late to ask that question.
Ah, it's just 2 bolts. But that's on, so problem solved. We'll go to the other side and basically do the exact same thing, but at this point we can put wheels and tires on it. That's an exciting time, eh? And yeah, life will be good. Okay, so the other side's done, right? We filmed that. We're all done. It's been a day. So now we have this side. Now, the way this bearing works is this back piece. This is actually the race. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can slide her on in. This is the tight side, and it's the
there's not a lot of room here.
and it's the gravity side. So you get that kind of lined up, and then should be able to kind of. Oh, well, actually, that went pretty simple. Just make sure that's all seated in, and then if we pull this out, the race is not staying with it. What is that all about? Seems like kind of a loose fit. The race came right out with it. That's weird. We'll deal with that later. Okay, we'll put that on there. Now we got to determine what kind of spacing and whatnot we have. But this goes there. Oh, you know what we also need is that other spacer, but yeah, so we'll need a couple of gaskets on it, same as the other side, I'm thinking. And I'll have to pound that in, make sure the race stays in it. But yeah,
Well, you have to do it on the other side. You have to hammer the race in.
yeah, I'll have to do that. Maybe make sure it really fits good, get a driver in it. So, but yeah, we'll get the race set, and then we'll come back and we'll just kind of place it all together with some gaskets and some. I got to make some T-bolts. But yeah,
Do you know why they call it a race?
because you want to win.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Let's steal the tire off this and see how it fits in the other car. And everything's in my way. So the back spacing on these rims is better than the other ones. Unfortunately, there's a muffler in the way here.
So then what tires will go on here?
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll find something. We need a impact and a socket. You want to get that?
Sure. Can you put this on?
No.
You're the talent.
They're trying to control me. Mint.
So once again, we're robbing parts. At least not off my car.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's why I left my car in storage this summer.
Yeah, it is inconvenient to
So
steal
that
parts.
it would remain intact.
I think these wheels have a better offset. Let's see if it'll fit. And they're slightly narrower than the ones I had on it. The ones I had on it ran dual spacers, which I wasn't a super big fan of. Let's see if these fit or if they're gonna rub and cause all sorts of issues, which is more than likely. How wide are these? Damn it. Oh,
No fit?
that's where they. I might need to run 2 washers. Let's see if they. Yeah, this one's got less backspace.
What are these things on the inside of it? These plates.
Weights.
Oh. What do those do?
Balance the tires so it doesn't wobble.
Hey!
Whoa, it's tight though. Oh yeah, we're running a spacer for sure. But just one. So that's not...
Want to show them?
Not really. Can you pass me those spacers on the wall?
Yeah. Here you go.
Ow. Ow. Okay. This is a little rinky dink. They actually sell billet spacers. Maybe get one of those. Oh, that's a tax document right there. Ah. That's not bad. Are there lug nuts up there? I need them with washers. Well, this one's custom. A couple of custom ones. Just 2 will be good. There's actually lots of threads here, so I don't feel too bad about the spacer. Actually, Newburn runs spacers like there's no tomorrow. Is the impact somewhere?
Yeah, behind you.
Why were you hide it there?
Microaggression.
Well, it worked. Oh, they still rub. We're running 2 spacers. Who's this? Oh. Good luck with him. Let's see here. How bad does it rub? Oh, very bad. Well, that's not good. Huh. We're gonna have to run like a bolt-on spacer. Go 1 inch. Why would this fit the Nomad but not this thing with the exact same setup? Don't yawn at me. That's a problem. That's a problem.
What if you just cut more out?
It's rubbing the spring.
Oh.
We have an inside problem. So we gotta run 2 spacers. At least 2 spacers.
You want me to pass you another one?
Yeah, I guess we'll see what that looks like. There actually is lots of studs. It's not the end of the world here, but I'd rather not do this.
You're like a CrossFit pro right now.
Thanks. Now they don't stick out. It's harder to get them on there. Okay. Well, they spin now. They're not rubbing the spring.
So then that's a win.
Yeah. I mean, we can get some really deep lug nuts now, so it's not the end of the world. It's just, spacers are kind of tacky.
Nobody can even see them.
No, it's just not really the right thing.
Why are they tacky?
Well, they're cast junk. We get some billet ones, which I probably should on this. It won't be nearly as bad.
We'll see. It does look cool.
That might rub actually still, yeah. Have to cut a little thing off. But yeah, well the spacing's good. And it's sitting at exactly at height. So we can put 2 of these on. Put it down. They are slightly taller too, those tires, but yeah. Damn, that looks good. Okay, so we got to get some 1/2 inch proper spacers, but we have lots of lug nuts, so that's no big deal. We can get these nice long ones, so we'll grab all of the threads. We should be okay. Okay, well, so there's that. Okay, now you caught me. I wasn't really planning on working here. Don't cough too. Come on. I have a different metering block here. So
Hey, don't cough on camera.
the one that was on it might have even been on the car when I got it. It's not wanting to come off. It's for drum discs, so I want to run a disc one, and then I bought a new master cylinder, which basically what I had is the exact same thing, but that one has a drum, so it's got a smaller reservoir for the drum. This is obviously the same front and back. So we may have to replumb the brakes if this has to go in a different location, which isn't the end of the world. We'll do that right quick. Replumb the front brakes. We'll let that sit with a little bit of penetrating oil on it, and then actually I could probably get the torches on it and see, because really all the lines should just come off and bolt to that one. Nice to get that done today. But really, putting the wheels on it looks friggin' cool. Okay, that looks good. Okay, I'll look for some wheels to put on that thing. What do we got? We must have something. And then...
You can't just put that tire on it?
These are too wide. So that's the problem. These wheels have... they are wider, which is a problem. And the backspace is kind of goofy. So I doubt they'll fit. Also, this tire's just junk. It'll go flat. So we'll find some... I think I have the spares for it, actually. Those tall truck tires. We'll put that on there. Be fine. End scene. So I got the wheels on, which is actually relevant to this part, but I'm just measuring for a drive shaft. So I've pulled the yoke out a little bit there, and I'm just going to go to the flat on the diff, which is kind of roughly the center. So flat to flat, we're talking, I would say 39 3/4 maybe. Center to center of the U-joint. Oh no. Oh, I can't see. Let's double check this. 39 1/2, we'll call it. Yeah, something like that. 39 1/4, 39 1/2. You remembering that?
Yeah, it's on video.
Perfect.
39 1/4, 39 1/2, something like that.
We'll split the difference. And then, let's take this yoke out. Yeah. Beefy. We'll put that with that drive shaft and have my good friend Ryan chop that down at Domar tomorrow. And then we need a plug for the transmission. Then we can fill that up with oil, the gear vendor up with oil, and the rear end up with oil. Tires are on, they fit, they spin. Let's put the front tire on, then we'll drop this thing on the ground, and Mur's gonna come over and we're gonna put on the front end, make it look like something just for fun. And then, well, said upcoming videos will be brakes. We gotta plumb the brakes, and where else I said? Oh yeah, fluids and all that, but I wanna see it on the ground. Okay, so Mur's here. World famous Mur. We got the wheels and tires on. They fit, so I'll probably order some billet spacers just so I feel better about it. And that's basically like having a proper size rim, right?
Same thing, sure. Why not?
Okay, so you want to just throw it on, and then we'll have to kind of like tilt it forward a little bit while I get a couple of bolts started.
Whatever you want.
Whatever I want. And I guess we gotta flip these downwards. This is it's nice for taking it on and off. Okay, with that light and socket. So you put it all the way back.
Okay.
It's gotta go a little bit.
There we go. Nuts and bolts there, okay.
Nuts and bolts?
Yeah.
Oh, I dropped all the nuts and bolts in the vent. At least that won't rattle. On the plus side, I probably won't hear it. Oh, these are flipped. Let me just pop the hood this way. Danielle, did you put...
They both...
Did you flip yours?
Nope.
Oh.
Oh no, there's a screw driver. Oh, that's gone. Tough here.
Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead. I'll just do it this way and...
Reach it from underneath there?
Sure. Okay, hang on. What does this have to do? Does it have to go back more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not on the thing.
How much more? Oh,
There you go.
I can't see the hole. But I know it's there. So now, Can you flip it up a little bit?
Tilt forward. Like
Yes, like tilt it forward. Okay, now my fingers are getting a little bit more.
there's a screwdriver or something about to fall there.
A little more. Okay. Oh, is it going to fall on me? You do know.
I don't. I can't see.
Well, it's where the hood scoop is, so I think you're safe.
The worst case, it'll go into the motor.
Yeah.
Okay, this side is in. Drop it down. And now all I gotta do is, oh look, there's washers here. I just gotta find another bolt. We're all set.
There's a lot of bolts here.
Oh, I don't want those ones.
Oh, you want different ones.
I'm hard on bolts.
Okay. It's the safety thing.
I'm hard on bolts. I like to lose them.
You are.
You know, the problem is, when I did this at your house, it cost me way less money. I lost your bolts. Okay, the sun is...
Press it forward again?
This has to line up somehow. Yeah, you can tilt it forward down. It shouldn't go anywhere. Whoa. Okay, hang on. Working by feel here.
The Braille method.
The sun could not be more of a hassle. Can't see. Oh, there we go. Right there. The Braille method, eh? There we go. Okay. I think one 5/16 bolt on each side will be fine, eh? Oh, dropped it. Wait, worse. It's also pinned at the back. So, I mean, what's the worst that would happen? It would
break,
break
fly
up.
up, break the windshield. All over the place.
All right, we're done.
You want it up or down?
You just hold it exactly like that. Hang on, let me get the camera here. Yeah, just hold it like that. Up, doesn't matter.
Don't go anywhere.
Oh, actually, yeah, we can go up here. Hold that. I forgot we gotta put the cable on.
The lanyard in.
The lanyard, yeah, okay, yeah, put it up and I'll get the floor jack in. I try and take nice care of my stuff here.
No, you don't.
Is it gonna hit the? Oh, look how close it is. It's hitting the garage.
Oh, because it's jacked up now.
Can we just power through that?
Ooh, let's not do that. 'Cause it's gonna hit the.
Okay, well we can drop this thing down real quick, and then
Little latches.
yeah, just drop the hood down, and we'll come right back. That's you, Danielle.
Still need me.
Wow. Okay, hang on. Look at this. Yeah, something like that's good. Get that tucked in there.
There you go.
Yeah. Maybe just kind of gingerly hold it so it can't take off. What did I? Well, I guess I had it around here. This looks like something I would do. Maybe not. Oh, right. It's a hassle. Is that what the deal is? Looks that way. And somehow I lost one clamp, which is hard to believe.
Yeah,
With
it's surprising. I mean, look at all the crap on the floor. I can't imagine.
Mer,
To build another 3 cars out of just sweeping up the floor.
whose side are you on here? But it looks good. Look at all the progress we made.
And sponsored by the Nut and Bolt Manufacturers of America.
That's right.
We believe in always replacing every bolt, just 'cause.
Hey, I like new fasteners.
I know you do, because you never can find the old ones.
I like new fasteners and I like new sandpaper.
Well, new sandpaper does that. That makes
It
some
feels
degree of
nice.
sense, yes, but I mean,
We also
standard trade practice is if you take off 10 bolts, you put the 10 bolts back on.
no. See, you're missing it.
I know.
No, here's the trick. I'll let you in. You must have missed it in the journeyman apprenticeship program.
Uh-huh.
It's missing bolts are a problem. Spare bolts, no issues. Okay, I need a wrench here. Oh, there we go. This is the right tool for the job right here. Why get the proper tool when you have
And
this?
you have a vice grip. always the proper tool.
Vice grip really is good for everything. You didn't find this other clamp on the ground, eh, babe?
I did not look. I don't know what it looks like.
Do you think
It looks exactly like the one I'm holding.
Looks like a tiny muffler clamp.
Yeah.
Like a U thing with a couple of bolts on it. Which side do you think you found? The left side or the right side?
Who are you asking?
Yeah, well, you got it from somewhere. Was it
On the floor.
on the 50% of the driver's side or the passenger side?
I think this one's actually on the cowl of this side.
Okay,
So
it might be on this side.
it might be. Honestly, you probably only need the one. I mean, two is just for safety.
And we'll look for it.
Yeah, there you go.
So where was it?
Lovingly placed underneath the cloth on the roof. Just where everybody'd see it.
I have a system. We found it.
We did.
You know what, Burr?
I know. If you had anybody else to drug over on holiday Monday to put your hood on, I wouldn't even be here.
That's right. Don't you forget it. And when it comes time to put you in the home...
I know.
Oh, this side is...
You cut it yesterday, didn't you?
Oh, no, it's caught...
It's wrapped around the wrong side of the radiator.
I need a pry bar, and for you to turn the camera off while I pry on the aluminum radiator. All right, and like we expected, it fit perfectly. Just like it did. Yeah, just put that away. Watch the paint, dude.
Use the towel.
Oh, you couldn't loosen these, Burr? What is this?
Smart.
You're not getting all the Jello you can eat at home when we put you there. Feels like the radiator's tilting forward. Next guy will have to deal with that.
You are the next guy.
Oh yeah, right, this is my car. Oh, look at that. That was a lot of work, and it looks the same. Like, the exact same as when we dragged it home. But now, it's got 650 horsepower, higher stall converter, should have overdrive, and a badass rear end in it with disc brakes. So, worth it, I guess. That was... When did we got the motor Thursday night?
Yeah.
And it's Monday.
Yeah.
So I went to start working out until Friday.
Yeah.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's not even all the way done
And
Monday.
If it wasn't holiday Monday, we would have gone and got that drive shaft and like all the stuff we needed.
Yeah, I could have done more today. Well, it worked out. I mean, I had to work on Friday still, so I didn't get a full day Friday, but half day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a full day Monday. Did pretty good. So I'm going to call it here, take a bit of a break, and now I actually do. So I'm going to clean up. I actually have to clean up because it's like a bomb went off in here. And make a list of all the things you need. So drive shaft tomorrow. We got to get brake fittings, transmission plug, fluids, and then we should be able to have it running and driving. I'd like to put the seat in there. And then, I mean, I got a want ad out right now for a cluster and some turn signal stuff. So I'd like to not take it out of the Nomad if possible. But such is life. If we have to, we have to. In all fairness, we did steal out of this car for the Nomad. So that's this OG #1 car stuff. So we should give it all back. But yeah. Oh, it looks good. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and being along for this ride and watching the ads and ultimately paying for gaskets and oil and stuff like that because you guys are doing it. And we'll be back tomorrow with something else. See you then.